gentlemen, I'll try and do this without the microphone popping, pop. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. It's been great so far. It was. I hope this isn't going to play up again tonight. It was great last night. I slept until 8:30 this morning. It was that great. The first thing I want to do is thank Ralph and Virginia Faber for the work that they've done in making sure, setting all of this up. It's Ralph and Virginia who are members here, and we're here under their membership rights, I guess, and this is just absolutely beautiful. I'd like to also thank Mick Horiluck, who was on the original organising team. We had beers for 2.5 years for 1.5 years to organise it around his place, but he's been pretty sick lately. And Harry Alley, of course, who's made sure everything I do. Oh, we don't stop, don't you bloody keep clapping Harry Alley. I'm going to talk to him. But I will acknowledge that this series of reunions that we've been having now for, I guess, 10 years, is largely as a result of his initiative and a couple of other guys, Shorty, Ralph, people smarter than me. And that's the last thing tonight that I'm going to say about, the last nice thing I'm going to say about bloody Harry Alley. It's about time that we got it all on the record. Harry and I go back before we'd even met the women that we're married to. We met here in Sale in 1966. We knocked around together, which is the nice way of saying we had a couple of beers together. I suspect to this day that he actually took out my little sister Sandra, and he didn't tell me. We played football together. In fact, it was a $5 bet that caused me to play rugby league. I'm a Victorian. We courted our women together and often had to lend one another our cars so that the women wouldn't reject us for the crap that we actually drove. The first impressions were always very important. We were very competitive in promotions. And I still maintain that the bloody certificate of outstanding service that Harry got was for work that I did. We worked in private industry together. And you would have thought that by then I would have sort of woken up, but no. I go get my old mate Harry to come along and work with me, and so off we went. We went off out of the Air Force into the wild blue yonder. And it just kept going on and on, right from the very start. And this is the point. This is the point that you have to know. Right from the very start, everyone, and I mean everyone, even my bloody mother, used to say, Harry's such a nice boy. He repelled criticism. Harry can do nothing wrong in this life. He was, today, now, not on script, but today, he's even in a bloody Aussie Rules photo. Harry never played Aussie Rules in his life. He's a rugby league player. But it just didn't matter. He repels criticism. And then, now we're competitive. We got promoted together. Corporal, I was 3 months in front of him for corporal. Sergeant, flight sergeant, warrant officer, exactly together. Then I got a gong in the Queen's birthday on Hugh Bloody Beauty. I'm one up on you, Harry. Bloody New Year's honours, he gets one too. And now, he's been appointed the first Royal Australian Air Force Indigenous Elder. That's a sort of an interesting thing, beat that. How do I beat that? He's bloody 6 years older than me. I can never be older than him. And am I proud of my best mate getting this most prestigious appointment? Well, I may be, but I'm not going to tell you because I'm not saying anything not good about him again. Never, never. Well, maybe just this once. On behalf of all of us, how proud must we be that this bloke is the first Royal Australian Air Force Indigenous soldier. He's my mate and I'm proud of him. And that's it. I'm not going to give him the microphone. I just wanted to give... I know that if I gave you a chance to go, you'd think I was going to get you on the phone, but you're not. Go. Okay. I'm just proud of him. He's a mate, but I'm not saying anything good about him again. Now, talking about this reunion. A week or so ago, I was doing some follow-ups with the guys that hadn't let us know what was going on. I rang old Kanga Kennedy, Kieran Kennedy, old Kanga, to see how he was going. And while I was talking to him, it occurred to me that this is one of the guys that had so much to do with who I am. This is the guy who, when I'm here as a LAC and corporal, he was the guy that was checking everything that I wrote in accounting section. I've been lucky enough to be, work in some pretty exotic places, but only because of the skills that I gained here from these guys at East Sale. Kanga didn't suffer fools. He would not, under any circumstances, allow poor spelling, punctuation, or logic to be accepted. Do it again. How many of us here have had do it again from the old timers that were our mentors when we were starting off? Of course, if you did that today, you'd probably be in front of a public service board, but do it again, get it right, get it right, get it right. These were the blokes that made us the people that we turned out to be. I was so happy to talk. I was a bit unhappy when he said he couldn't get up here because of his knees, but he wanted me to remember all of you to him, old Kanga Kennedy. Another of the guys that had so much to do with me was in shaping how I ended up was Bluey Jones, Corporal Bluey Jones. When I got here, I was 17 years old. He was a knock-around sort of a bloke. He really was a knock. But he taught me the skills of surf fishing and euchre. He taught me euchre so he'd get the money out of my pocket. But really, he how to fill the books. That may be true. But really, he was one of those guys that for no apparent reason, just said, okay, here's a young bloke, I'm going to take you under my wing, and it was just unbelievably good. I just can't give these guys enough credit for the moulding that they did with the raw talent that they had when we were youngsters. But then, having thought about that, we have to acknowledge that this isn't about me, it's about all of us. So we've got to spare a thought, we've got to think about everyone. Now, we all came here much, much younger than what we are now. In the 60s, 70s, we were much, much younger, impressionable people. And the trauma sometimes of coming to Sale was exceptional. So we should spare a thought for the South Australians who came here and found that there was drinkable water in the taps. They'd never seen it. It's a bloody miracle. The Tasmanians who found streetlights in newspapers. They couldn't believe it. And one head. And only one head. And no scar on the side.
She's still your sister.
I wasn't thinking about getting wired, but now it's mentioned. The Queenslanders who thought they were in a different country. Electricity, paved roads, and a language that didn't end every sentence in A. It took me a long time to get my wife out of that. The poor old New South Wales people who found newspapers had far, far too many words in Victorian. We Victorians think that a New South Wales paper is really a comic. And that's true to this day. I live in New South Wales and they're comics. The Western Australian. Oh, it's a problem. We've got a few Western Australians here, I know that. But since that area was only discovered in 1959, what more can we say? Everything here that the Western Australians found was new to them. And to complete my insults to everybody, except Victorians, of course, I should say something about the Territorians. But I can't, even I can't. Now I'm a knock around sort of guy, but I can't bring myself to put the boot into a group of people that have just got nothing going for them. So I guess that we Victorians could claim a good deal of credit for taming you lot. And I'm confident that many of you are going to want to stand up here tonight and thank we Victorians for what we've done for you. Now, but in truth, and jokes aside, remember when we were young, remember when we were all together learning about all of those different things, learning about the things that were different from state to state, learning about the different ways of doing things. And then remember, and I will never forget, the first, second and third times you went home on leave and you started talking to your mates, your old schoolmates. They were pretty boring because all your mates here had big stories and talked a lot and we all got together. All your old schoolmates were just, you still doing that, are you? You still doing that? Well, it changed us all. It changed us all and we've got to be proud and we've got to be happy that that thing that happened to us in the 60s has made us what we are today. I'm more than happy for somebody to get up and dispute that. Thanks very much for coming. Let's enjoy the rest of the night.